for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll have the roll call.
Councilor Olson.
Here.
Bridge.
Here.
Bender.
Here.
Mertzick. Anderson. Hendry. Finsland. Herrick. McKenzie. Dahlbeck. Nowicki. Emmert. And Sather. All present.
We have one presentation, and will Mr. Rugg come forward, and our chief. At home hear this, so the 31 years of service to the city of Superior, and it's always my privilege to be able to present a small token of appreciation for all that you've done. You've seen a lot of our history go by, haven't you?
Well, pretty much.
With fires and activities that have happened in this community over 31 years of your service. And so on behalf of our chief and myself
Appreciate it.
and the Common Council,
Appreciate it.
we'd like to present you with a very cheap plaque, but no gold watch,
Okay.
and you're not getting a health club, membership or a vacation.
Health insurance will do.
But health insurance will do. But there's a lot of heart behind this plaque.
Appreciate it.
31 years of service. January 11, 1978, December 29, 2009, for your excellent service and hard work. Thank you, Rick.
Appreciate it.
We'll approve the minutes. Motion by Esther Dahlbeck and second by Mr. Bender. Any discussion on the minutes, any corrections or grammatical errors, Mr. Finsland? We're good? We're all set to go? Okay, all in favor say aye. Opposed say no. We pass the minutes. We have no public hearings, and now we have the consent agenda. Motion by Councilor Finsland, second by Councilor Dahlbeck to approve the consent agenda. Discussion, any items you'd like pulled, taken out, or Mr. Olson?
I'd like to pull 610, please.
610, okay. Gotcha. 610, any other items you need pulled this time? Seeing none, we'll approve the balance of the agenda minus 6.10. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. The consent agenda is approved. 6.10.
6.10.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Finsland, second by Mr. Olson. Discussion? Mr. Olson.
Jason, just for clarification, isn't that property already surveyed, or is this a requirement to get the grant?
The certified survey map is a clean way, essentially, yes, of surveying, but then also breaking property in half. So essentially with the certified survey map here, Lot 1, it was divided into two lots, Lot 1 and Lot 2. If you remember, the city, as a requirement, needed to own Lot 1. So that, as a clean way of doing that, we then will take ownership of Lot 1, which we have already by deed to do that. So yes, we essentially, the property, to my knowledge, was not surveyed beforehand. It was parceled. There was no survey of record that was installed, at least to the best of my knowledge, because I know the surveyor would have used it.
Okay, and then that's an independent survey that'll be done on that property?
It's already been done, yes.
Okay,
Yep.
and who paid for that? Was that the city's portion of that
We
grant,
have
or
paid for that.
Saha's?
We have paid for that, but we will be recouping that through the grant application, actually.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Very good discussion. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. 610 passes.
Item 7.1 is ESD Administrator Romans is recommending to amend the wastewater services agreement between the city and the town of Parkland Sanitary District 1.
Motion by Councilor Anderson, second by Councilor Olson. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed say no. 7-1 passes.
7.2, Parks and Recreation Administrator Morgan is recommending to award the bid for the Arrowhead Fishing Pier steel pipe piles, caps, and dredging bid to RJS Construction for $247,000.
Motion by Mr. Bender, seconded by Mr. Anderson. Any discussion? Seeing none? Oh,
Yes.
Mr. Bender.
Was the first
Okay.
right initial, anyway. I have a question about this. Since this is $274,000, this does include a PLA, correct?
This contract does not mandate a PLA, no. No, the PLAs we have typically been insisting on when a project is large and complex and requiring multiple skilled crafts workers. This is essentially a single trades project, rather simple in scope from what I understand, and didn't meet the criteria that staff applied to the bid specs.
Your only question. Any others? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. 7-2 passes.
7.3, Parks and Recreation Administrator Morgan is recommending to award the bid for the Arrowhead Fishing Pier and Boat Launch reconstruction to MZ Construction, Inc. for $357,000.
Mr. McKenzie, first, second, Mr. Olson, second. Any discussion? See, Mr. McKenzie, yeah.
Is there any PLA language attached to this one?
In fact, there is.
Because of the multiple trades, is that right? Is that
Yes.
right?
Yes, there is a PLA on this contract.
Okay, good, thanks.
Mr. Bender?
No.
No.
My question, he stole it.
That's not fair. Then we have to go to Mr. Anderson.
Well, Mary may have cleared this up a little bit, but it may be a little bit confusing to other people out there, too, as I tried to do some research on MZ Construction on the Internet, and there's two of them. And so just for clarification, perhaps you could tell us a little bit about the company that submitted the successful bid, as I'm not familiar with this construction company at all.
I'm going to invite our consulting engineer, Chad Scott, to visit with you about this because he actually called some references on the company, and he's prepared a little letter for me anyway, which I did not include for you. Chad, can you come up and tell the council a little bit about what you found out about MZ Construction?
Can you hear me okay?
You
push that light in.
those at home.
There we go. All right. We did do some checks. We checked their references. We checked their credit references, and also their work references. We checked with the local DNR. They are a union company. They have done successfully projects between $1 and $2 million. The contacts and the references that I've checked have all come back in a very positive manner, the completion of the projects. The only one comment that I got back was just they got stretched a little thin one year, but other than that, everything has come back in a very positive manner. This MZ Construction is out of Linden, Wisconsin. That is where their home is. So if there's a conflict on the Internet, they are from Linden, Wisconsin.
There was another one in Greenwood, Wisconsin. That's why I wondered.
Right. Unless they have a second office or something, I don't know about the Greenwood, Wisconsin company. The owner has been doing this, I think he said about, was it 15 or 17 years? I have to go back and check again. But he's been in this business for a while. All his projects that have been listed have been completed satisfactorily to the client's needs. Again, he's done he's done for the University, State of Wisconsin before, other projects, and for the DNR and other private companies. So he's got a good track record. I could find nothing wrong. Everything he's provided is checked in a positive manner. So he seems very qualified.
Well, I had one other question, as long as Chad's up here. I noticed we did end up going with the composite decking. This is now your recommendation on, this will be the longest-lasting substance to use on this pier, in your opinion, as a qualified engineer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank
And it's 80, I think there was a question before, it is 80% recycled material as well.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Good question. Mr. Olson.
Chad, is this the MZ, the owner's name is Zimmerman?
I believe it is, yeah.
Yeah. If in fact, Ed, that's who it is, they have done some work at UWS, both on relocating the heating systems and ditch banks and stuff along Catlin Avenue, and Faxon going to the heating plant, so.
Yeah, everybody seemed very happy with their performance and their work, so.
And councilors that were involved with the public meetings concerning the pier, if you remember, composite decking was chosen by the public for that reason. Thank you.
I remembered that, but then we also talked about it was kind of knocking the cost out of the cycle, but apparently we've been able to adjust things so it comes in.
Yeah, Mary Morgan has done just a masterful job at getting this contract to come in where we need it to come in.
Well, she's a magician. Didn't you know that?
She is, and I'll tell you what, we should be very proud of how hard Mary has worked to make sure that this project can become a reality for our taxpayers and citizens. Mr. McKenzie.
When you mentioned the composite decking, that was, chosen by the people, which was a good choice. From what my understanding now is that the composite decking is actually the less expensive product at this point, so that's a plus as well, having the composite decking that's going to last long and at a reasonable price.
Right.
Yep.
We were able to change a few things around to lessen the cost.
Yeah, great.
Good. Mr. Olson.
Mary, just for the public's sake, we ended up being under budget then on this rebid, and we're close.
There was a savings with the rebid, but it's not an apples-to-apples comparison, Counselor, because, for example, we're going to be making a few purchases outright. The city is going to be conducting the boat launch demolition, and we've reduced, for example, the number of lights to start from 12 to 6. We did make some changes. The budget is still going to be very tight.
So you're confident that when we're awarding these bids that we're close enough to budget
yes.
that we're not going to
Yes,
have
sir.
any public backlash?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. 7-3 passes. Thanks, Chad.
7.4, Fire Chief Riegstedt is requesting authorization to accept a FEMA Fire Assistant to Firefighters grant for 2009 for $97,500 with a 10% city match requirement.
Motion by Mr. Dahl, second by Mr. Bender. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed say no. 7-4 passes.
7.5, Planning Director Cirque's presentation on the Tower Avenue Streetscape project.
You have 120 seconds to give your presentation, Mr. Singh.
Thank you, Mayor. I will,
Just kidding, just kidding.
Now, if it were trees.
I will.
It is trees.
60 seconds.
We are actually talking about
There
trees.
are a lot of trees.
Thank you, Mayor and councilors. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes of your time tonight to talk a little bit about the Tower Avenue Streetscape project, which is running parallel to the eventual reconstruction of Tower Avenue from Belknap to roughly North 3rd in 2013. Back in the summer, the bid, well, actually backing up even further than that, the DOT and in our discussions with them early in this project thought it would be a good idea to have the design committee, the bid design committee, look into designing the elements, kind of the extra elements as part of the Tower Avenue Streetscape project. Kay and I realized very quickly we were over our heads and decided that hiring a consultant, and we ended up landing on SES Consulting to guide us through a process over the last 6 months, the design committee, to see what elements were important, what we wanted to do, and more or less to kind of set apart this portion of Tower Avenue, not only from the rest of Tower Avenue, but kind of from the rest of the city as well, and make it an entrance point. There's some boards up here that kind of show what the main ideas are. The main ideas are a median, trees or some type of foliage, as well as pedestrian safety. Pedestrian safety is more going along with the design. However, there's a lot of pedestrians that cross at crosswalks, cross in between the roadways and we wanted to make it as inviting. So we've actually shrunk some of those medians or some of those intersections to decrease those times to cross, particularly across Tower Avenue as well as the side streets. the medians, and don't get hung up, I've told Mary, don't get hung up on the number of trees. This is going to vary, it's going to be it's going to be a kind of a flexible type of plan, because we're going to have utilities and things like that are going to dictate where some trees are, where some of those amenities are. So this is conceptual, we're looking at some forms of trees in the median, more or less all the way to Broadway, in that. North of the tracks, we're looking at, since we've got kind of a different situation, we've got a lot of industrial tracks, taking that raised median out and doing some trees along the side, just because we do have a lot of truck traffic and a lot of industrial movements in that area. Again, we do have a bike lane that is in here. The WSDOT folks more or less mandated the bike lane, so that will, I think, be very good when we're getting down to doing some of our bike planning that I know the MIC is going to be probably talking to us about in the spring or in the summer. So we'll actually be able to kind of get some connectivity to this bike lane. Other than that, it's conceptual. And, I just wanted to get that to you today. Kay Tenerelli and myself sponsored a meeting last week, Thursday, with about 25 to 30 bid stakeholders, Tower Avenue businesses, just to kind of get their input. Of course, there was some discussion about medians and snow storage and things like that. We've done pretty good homework on this. We've trotted it out to our superintendents out the garage. We talked to Jeff Getzman about it. I've talked to Mary about it, and I think this is something that is workable. It may not look like this on whenever in 2014 or 2013, but it's a good start, and it's something that we're going to strive for. This is over and above, what you see here, most of it is over and above what the allocated money is. We're going to be essentially trotting this out. We don't have a number for this yet. We will very shortly on what some of the expenses are and looking to go to other sources for dollars. The biggest one is transportation enhancement dollars, which we'll be probably applying for here shortly. So I just wanted to get it in front of you, take this time to remind you. I think probably all of you have received notice that Thursday the 18th, the DOT, the city, and the bid are doing a joint informational meeting, a hearing, not really hearing, but more of an informational meeting at noon and at 5 in the old post office courtroom on the 3rd floor. That's pretty much all I had, unless there's some questions. Councilor Anderson.
Well, I just wanted to mention that the MIC has developed another subcommittee. As you know, they have the Harbor Technical Advisory Committee and the Transportation Advisory Committee. And they just at the last meeting, we created a Bike and PED Advisory Committee. So that would, I'm sure they'd be more than happy to jump in on this, because that's their issue, bike and PED stuff. So.
Thanks, Councilor.
Thank you. Mr. Hendry.
Yeah, and the times I've run for council, part of that area goes through my district, and the times I've run for council, I've advocated more green areas in there and green spaces and things like trees and bushes, and I'm really happy to see that you potentially included some of that on your design. I think we need to do everything that we can to make that area look attractive. It has been in the past a declining area, and it's hard to know exactly what to do to turn around a declining area. And I think this is really a step in the right direction, and I'm really favorable toward the fact that you've included bike lanes. You're saying they're mandated, but I think that's great. I'm really in favor of it. It may very well be part of our transportation in the future, a larger part. It's hard to say, but I think it's something that we need to prepare for and need to encourage. And I know in riding my bicycle, I ride a bicycle, and in riding it. When I'm riding on a busy street, I feel like I'm taking my life in my hands, and to provide a bike lane, I think is it's very good in that way as well. But that looks potentially that looks really good to me, and I hope it works out the way you've got it designed there.
Thanks, Councilor. And yeah, I think that was the goal of the bid.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the comments. Mr. Cirque, thank you for your presentation. It was thrilling.
Item 9.1 has been withdrawn by Councilor Bender at this time. So item 10.1 is a resolution authorizing the transfer of property located between Tower and Ogden Avenues and North 6th and 7th Streets to the Redevelopment Authority of the City of Superior.
Motion by Councilor Dahlbeck, second by Mr. Bridge. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed say no. 10.1 passes.
10.2 is resolution referring proposed amendment to the project plan for the Tax Incremental District 11, the Blaine Central Project, to the Plan Commission and appointing city representative to the Joint Review Board.
Motion by Mr. Bridge, seconded by Mr. Anderson. Thank you. Any discussion? I really do depend on Mr. Bender because he is the traffic cop for motions and seconds.
36 years of watching people raise their hands.
Mr. McKenzie.
Yeah, I know this project goes back to 2008, and I know everybody's hoping for more businesses to come there in addition to Enbridge. I'm wondering what is the, I don't see any explanation here, but what the amendment is to the project plan, and then who is the city representative that's going to be appointed?
I do believe Mr. Vito will be the representative.
Okay.
He is typically our representative on the Joint Review Board. The opportunity that we have is to purchase a property that borders the TIF district that is integral to some development adjacent to the Blaine Business Center. So what we have to do is we have to go through the hoops to essentially ask permission to spend money outside the TIF district. It is allowed by TIF law, but we have to amend the agreement to include that. So that is what we will be doing. So we're starting this process at the Plan Commission. We'll be going to the Redevelopment Authority, and then we'll be presenting it to you eventually, probably in March or April. So that is the crux of the deal.
And you say, adjacent, which way? North, south, east, west?
South, adjacent to the Blaine Business Center.
South.
A very large house.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes.
All right, that clears it up.
Okay. Thanks. You're welcome.
Does it really? Good, okay. No more questions? All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. 10-2 passes.
10.3 is a resolution introduced by the Community Development Division to set a public hearing on that should be April 7th rather than April 6th. The council meeting will be April 7th that night due to the election on the 6th at 6:30 p.m. in the Government Center to request comments on the community development needs and fair housing choice.
Motion by Councilor Dahlbeck, second by Councilor Hendry. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed say no. 10-3 passes.
11.1 is a resolution introduced by City Clerk Kalan repealing and recreating City Code Chapter 74 licenses, business regulations relating to massage parlors and saunas.
Oh, okay. Mr. Herrick and Mr. Bender, who is the seconder?
Esther.
Esther?
Yeah.
Esther or Ed also was in
See, now, if you don't even know who the seconder is, I'm even more clueless. Okay, we'll give it to Esther. Acclamation, okay, a second by acclamation. See no discussion. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. 11.1 passes. Does that end our business? Mr. Finsland and Miss Esther.